Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scared money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty all picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
And here we go. Welcome to another edition of the Balking Dead, where there is no sleep for the wicked. It's Tuesday, and not just any Tuesday, guys. It's a Tuesday where we had 13 guys in the black book going, and we're coming off of a 4-1 day. But like we say on the show, it don't really matter. We are 0-0 today, and yeah, this show is course is sponsored by PrizePicks. So if you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports, and on your first deposit they will match you up to 100, minimum of 25. As you already know, we do have another sponsor on this show, W. It's a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. By scanning the QR code on screen, you will get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code in the history of mankind. Pub Sports, that is, guys. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the best producer in the whole wide world, Big Show Picks. You guys already know the drill. Smash that like button if you already haven't, and make sure you do have them notification bells on. With it being Tuesday, we're going to cover the first 3 pitchers on the board, then talk us some hitting props with Ribeyes with Mike. So enough small talk, and let's get to the monies. On this show, we will compare the best lines available when first open to the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show, and then we will compare them to what PrizePicks have to offer. First pitcher on the board, Kevin Gausman versus the Giants. Number 22 in the black book this year, has a 31.5 strikeout percentage with a nice 6.2 walk percent to go with it. Open them up on FanDuel 7+ at -128, where the best line available is now at MGM to that 7+, and that's at -130. PrizePicks has them at a flat 7, whereas earned runs, outs, and hits are not available on PrizePicks. Projected lineup for your Los Gigantes today is 6 lefties and 3 righties. K per 9 this season, 12.3 at home, 10.9 on the road, with an 11.3 K per 9 versus the left-handed side and a nice 11.8 versus the right-handed side. So we get to start the day off, guys, talking some Kevin Gausman versus the team that made him the man he is today, the San Francisco Giants, where they switched the side of the rubber he was pitching from and added in the best splitter in the game. Now, when we look at the Giants' numbers over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitchers, it says run for the hills if you want to run a K-prop here, guys, as they're walking at an elite 11%, not striking out at an elite 17%. 5th through 8th in team batting average and OPS, while being 23rd in isolated power. I like to look at isolated power to tell me how real is a team's batting average and OPS. Now let's see who they have faced in those numbers, guys. They've seen Hugh Darvish. He went 5 innings with 5 strikeouts. Bobby Miller from the Dodgers, 5 strikeouts and 5.2 innings. And that's all they've actually seen going back through to the first of the month, not just past the 15-day mark, guys. So they have been, for the most part, picking on mediocre to end of the rotation type of guys. The last guy they would seen that I would put my money on that has a K percentage near Kevin Gossman is Mitch Keller, guys. On May 31st, when he faced these Giants, he went 6 innings with 8 strikeouts. Now, like I said, Keller is the only person to come close with Gossman's strikeout percentage that these Giants have seen since May 31st. Now, we get Gossman at home also in this spot, guys, where this year his strikeout to walk ratio is 8% better than on the road. At home versus right-handed batters, his strikeout percent jumps up 10% to a crazy 39%, and versus left-handed batters still goes up to a 5% to a stellar 32%. If you need anything else to push you over here, guys, we get Gossman on an extra days of rest today, where over his career, his velocity has been known to tick up 3 miles per hour from his normal 94 miles per hour. So I'm taking Gossman, guys, at home versus his old team, who hasn't seen a ace like this all fucking month. And I got a full unit on him, over 6.5 at -138. Then we get into another guy who's in a great matchup, guys, where the numbers said no last time. The numbers say yes this time, and we're talking David Peterson, number 63 in the black book, versus the Milwaukee Brewers. 2023, this year, he has a 24.7 strikeout percentage with a nice 7.7 walk percentage. Opened him up on DraftKings 6+ at -135. Got steamed. Everyone was betting him, and somehow, some way, it's sitting right now at 6+ -126 on FanDuel. PrizePicks has him at a flat 6, whereas hits allowed under over are at 4.5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup for your Brew Crew today is 8 right-handed bats and Christian Yelich. K per 9 this season, though, not enough to do his home road splits. His lefty K per 9 is a 9.3, where he is striking righties out at an 11 K per 9. Now we get a spot, guys, that for the most part is a spot from the baseball gods with David Peterson. And we've been picking on the Brewers, not just this year, just the past few seasons with lefties on the bump, guys. So no surprise if everyone and their mother is trying to bet them some David Peterson today. But they're actually doing a little bit better than what they've been doing throughout the year and last year, but they are walking at an elite 10.7%, still striking out close to that 24% range, but 15th to 20th in all hitting categories instead of dead last where they have been. And they were striking out near that 29 to 30% clip, so they actually have been coming down over the past 200 plate appearances. So now we got Peterson, a guy I've had to put on my wait and see list at this man right here. He's been sent to AAA, guys, 2 fucking times. And he's only getting the call up, guys, because they need an extra starter in their rotation. Peterson has not been good in AAA. I don't care how bad the Brewers have been versus lefties. I can't put my hard-earned money on a guy who doesn't belong in the big leagues at the moment. That's just not the way I get down. Now, if he has a great game, then cool, the Mets will keep him up, and then I can start to look to bet him again, guys. But Sharpie 316, roll 52. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, guys. I can't bet ifs. If David Peterson has a good game, he has 10 strikeouts. If this fucker ain't had any good games, and that's why he's been in the fucking AAA, guys, at the end of the day. So you will not see me putting my hard-earned money on this fucking bum today, no matter how great the situation is. Period. He did face these Brewers earlier in the year, guys, without no numbers, and he was baptized. Well, he's been baptized in most of his games this year, but it was a special baptism as he gave up 5 walks, only went 4 innings, while striking out 1. Not saying that he doesn't get more than 1 strikeout today, guys. This is a spot where any of our lefties would put their fucking nuts on the chin, guys. But this guy is highlighted right now for me to stay the fuck away from. So, for that being so, I will not even fucking bet this man today. Now, I will watch it. If he has a great game, cool. I will look to back him the next few times. But I don't bet ifs when a guy's going to have his best game. That shit ain't for me, boss. What is for me? Not this next guy either. Let's talk about it. Big Fram Diesel at the Cardinals, number 40 in the black book this year, has an elite 26.7 strikeout percent with an elite 5.4 walk percent to boot. Open them up on DraftKings at 6+ minus 105, and you can now get plus money on that 6+ at plus 105 on MGM. PrizePicks has them at a 5.5, whereas earned runs, outs, hits are not available on PrizePicks. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties. K per 9 this season, 9.3 at home with a 9.8 K per 9 on the road. Granted, he has 66 innings at home compared to 33 on the road. Lefties, 11 K per 9 this year, with a nice 9.2 K per 9 versus the right-handed side. This is a spot, guys, where the baseball gods are playing tricks on me, and it's pissing me off. We got Valdez in a matchup from the baseball gods, where over the last 30 days, the Cards only have 188 plate appearances versus left-handed pitching. They're walking a little bit below league average, bottom 5 in every hitting category, while striking out at a 24.5% clip. So why the fuck we getting a 5.5 on Big Fram Diesel right here, guys? He's only hit that over at a 70% clip his last 10 games. This line should be 6.5 minus 120 without even adding in the Cardinals tax. So why don't we get a tax here? When I look through the book, guys, the last 15 days, they have only seen Gore, who I would bet on, who we did bet on in that spot, guys. And he had himself a 9-piece that day, but his line matched the 5.5 where it should be. He hit that at a 50% rate. They put it there. Cool. Nothing wrong with the man's average and wanting to bet that. Now, today, they didn't do that. They also faced Kershaw, guys, going back the game after his mother passed away. Kershaw got waxed, but still got 6 strikeouts. Garrett had a 9-piece. Paxton had a 9-piece, and Sale followed it up the next 9 over the last if we go back past the month, guys. This team has been dominated by our lefties, and we get a 5.5. A 5.5. Man, it's telling me, guys, we get one of those pitch to contact days, and they put this man's outs prop at a spot we can't even fucking bet. Over 17.5 was minus 205. Really, bro? Really? We can't get an 18.5? 19.5? No, they just want to put it to where we cannot get in, guys. And sometimes these books have tricks up their sleeves. It is a business, guys. Remember that. So I've got to let this go, period, as the books decided to play hoe games with my boy today. And I don't bet ifs, guys, and I can't understand why they're doing this to this man today, other than he's going to go out, go 7-8 innings, and have 4 or 5 fucking strikeouts, because that's what Fram Diesel looks to do, guys. He doesn't look to punch you out. He will look for his punch outs when you get on second and third, but this team ain't hitting right now. You've got to get the second and third for Big Fram Diesel to go into the bag of tricks. So the book's got something up their sleeves right here, guys. And if I would have bet the 2 spots yesterday they fucked with, I would have went 1-1. I don't bet ifs. I don't bet to go 50-50 to lose some juice. And more often than not, just letting these lines go that they want to fuck with a man's average has helped me more often than not. Now, the lean would still be over, as I think this man's going to be out there fucking 7-9 today. He's going to have ample opportunities to hit it. I could just see one of those 2022 Sandy Alcantara days, guys, where he goes 9 innings and gets 3 strikeouts, and you're fucking cursing yourself at the end of the day. We've covered the first 3 pitchers, guys, on our slate, and we're going to hit a quick segment and come right back with a special stacked edition of Ribeyes with Mike.
I didn't want salmon! I said it 4 times! Wedding is horseshit.
I just want ribbies, my guy. I just want ribbies. We're back on this Tuesday edition of the best MLB prop show on God's green earth, and I'm here with the best guy to ever do this RBI shit. And I'm speaking the pimp slap play of the day. Mike M, how you doing, my guy?
Sharp, you know what's up, man. It was a long, late Monday night live, and we're here to fuck some bookies. So let's get to it, my guy.
Man, Guillermo was pumped this morning, made a quick 280 off of your bets. He said he took the Angels in the under, and it was easy as fucking can be. So, yeah, keep it rolling, my guy. Maybe hey, that Texas over, too. Oh, Lord.
Stuck that one in there, and We caught that White Sox first half under, and we caught a plus 150 on those Brewers. Man, it was a good day yesterday. All in all, it was a fun day.
The trend you keep speaking of about the Rangers' first five, what is it again? Because it's absurd at that shit's winning at. When the Rangers
win the first five, the next game goes over, and it's gone over. I don't have the numbers in front of me because I didn't win the first five yesterday, but I think it was like 17-5, maybe 17 and maybe 18-5. It is a sick number. It's a stupid number that's definitely worth tracking. So even if you don't hear me talk about it, you guys, and you see that those Texas Rangers, who have been winning that first five at an unbelievable clip, do cover that first five. Keep an eye on that over the next game, because all trends were pointing to the under last night. The numbers were showing unders. The number was moving to the under, and Rangers over still cashed. So that's how you got to do it, man.
Yeah, I was definitely. I'm not a trend better, but I pay attention to trends. I won't go against it. Like if there's something that's hitting at a crazy percent, and I want to play that under, I'm like, bro, why don't you pay attention to the baseball gods? They're fucking saying something to you, you know? So I think that you definitely got to pay attention to it, and it's become really profitable for you because you know what the fuck you're doing and looking for. And I appreciate you for that query you did for me on Kershaw. So yeah, let's talk about it, guys. We have a stacked ass card today. So really, enough of the bullshit. First game on your card today is not so South Beach, guys, and we're talking the Marlins at the Red Sox in Boston. Who are you looking at here?
Yeah, I'm all over Justin Turner on this one at a plus 170 for the RBI number. So I wouldn't be mad at anybody that wanted to play Louis Ribeyes at a plus 185 down from plus 200. But my look is to isolate a guy that's been hitting the ball incredibly well. 6 of his last 7 games, he's been able to generate an RBI. And the interesting part about, the numbers are trending up. We're seeing that the money's kind of moving in and that the Vegas is starting to move that number up a half a run. But they're pricing it like it's Sandy. And I was so happy to hear you say that we're not going to see the Sandy that we saw with a potential 3 strikeout type of day, because absolutely Turner's hot bat being priced at a situation where I think they're overvaluing a guy like Sandy is a great spot that I want to be all over.
Well, if it's anything to you, and I mean, I'm sure there's people in the chat are going to ask me, what about this guy or that guy? If I don't talk about that guy, I don't have a bet on him that day. Yeah, I had 13 guys in the book, guys, but there's a reason why I stayed off Alcantara, and we ain't talking about Alcantara today on this show. This guy needs to get some act right and put a couple good games together before I can bet him, because these guys are fucking hitting this guy right now. And yeah, I can't be on those Sandy, man, at this time.
Totals have been sailing over in Boston too. So there's been a couple of random stray unders, but for the most part, we're seeing, double-digit numbers and runs out there, and that's the key for success in this RBI game. You got to get those runs generated, and that's going to put your guy in a position to get a cover, and I like that plus 170 a ton.
Man, shout out to the chat, guys. You guys are actually rocking it today, guys. I see you all up in here today. AOD, Chris Rojas, my dude, Razor, motherfucking Sharp, Guillermo. Justin, you always the first one up in here. Let's get it. Parlay Angels always in the chat, bro. I know I don't talk to the chat a lot, guys, and that's because I type out everything and I give you my own write-up, so I'm really just humming and going. So it's no disrespect to any of you guys, and I appreciate you all who show up and smash the like. And tail our bets, guys, to have the fucking, to put your own hard-earned money on shit that we do means something at the end of the day. And I take losing other people's money harder than my own. I could lose my own. I make pretty good money. Right. But I know other people.
Love seeing the guys tailing some of those. Love seeing the chat tailed some spots last night. I love seeing that, man. That's it's exciting. It's one thing to put them out there. It's another thing to push the button. So shout out to that chat, man.
I've got a lot of guys in a group that I have that I put my bets in that tail all these hitting props, and they're always putting gifts in of those guys as soon as it cashes. I don't even got to be told by you. They tell me before. I know they bet it, and they're like, check. We're like, yeah, all right. Well, let's get into this last game on the card, guys, that you wanted to touch up on, and that's my boys in blue heading up to them Colorado skies, and I'm speaking Dodgers at the Rockies. Who you going to pick on, Connor Siebold or Mike Clate the Great?
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Oh man, so it's Clayton Kershaw day, and I'll tell you what. When I sent those numbers to you, my takeaway was he's just solid. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. That's just a guy that plays solid baseball, man. And I certainly don't think that's going to be an issue for him tonight. I expect the Dodgers to come through when he's in a favorite role that they are in the pricing range that they're at. He's an 18-0 spot, so I don't expect him to go 9 innings. And I'm hoping in this case here it's a core situation, and I'm going to go to CJ Cron. Here's a guy at a plus 145 and kind of an under the radar type of player with that Kershaw factor. Why is he only priced at 145? He should be somewhere around the plus 200 mark when you think about the fact that he's only hitting an 0.67 in 15 at-bats against Clayton Kershaw. He's seen him a bunch, and he's been getting mowed down, yet they're pricing it at plus 145, suggesting there are going to be runs. He's got 4 RBIs in his last 5 games that he's gone up against NL pitchers. And here's the thing about this guy against lefties. He's a whole 100 points better against a lefty, a 341 on-base percentage against a lefty pitcher versus a .250 against a righty. So here's a guy that's got kind of an O for in his matchups against a guy like Clayton Kershaw, but he's being priced in a situation where the books are starting to tell us this guy's potentially going to be due to get a whack out there, and he might as well get it for us at plus 145 against Clay the Great.
Man, it can happen. I mean, it is Colorado, and it's Colorado at the end of the fucking day. And
That's right.
his ERA and everybody who's going to talk is, he's so bad at Colorado. And blah, 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 blah. Well, hold my fucking beer is what I'm going to say, guys. So we'll get to that when I get to that. Quick little recap, guys, for those showing up for the bets of Ribeyes with Mike. Just a 2-pack gack today, guys. We're going to head up to Boston. We're going to take my old Dodger, and we're going to take Justin Turner plus 170. That's fucking stupid right there. These Red Sox are too hot. They get on base, and this dude is humming like that big fatty at the prom was humming, guys. So love me some plus 170 on Justin Turner. And then he's going to head on over to the Walkies, and we're going to take CJ Cron plus 145 versus Clay the Great. Ribeyes with Mike, guys, is every Tuesday on the Balking Dead. I appreciate you, my guy. Let's fucking eat today. Want to tell them where they can find you and what you've got going on?
Hell yeah, man. You find me at Pimp Slap POD, and you know I'm here to support my guy Sharpie. Tuesdays are our ribeye days. Don't forget that I gave out a ribeye play of the day earlier as well with Anders and Menendez for Cleveland at a plus 140 spot as well. So I will leave you guys with a 3-pack today. And I'm looking to cash. I'm hoping you guys put some money in your pockets. We love hearing when you guys do make that money. So feel free to like and retweet back at us and let us know when that cash is getting to your window, and that hopefully we can all keep cashing these tickets and stacking that cash, my guy. Fuck those bookies. You know,
right in the fucking eye holes, like right here. All right, guys, we're now going to hit a quick commercial and come right back into the last 3 pitchers we're going to cover on today's episode of The Balking Dead.
Welcome to another edition of the Balking Dead.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of EPL on
Class is in session, hitting the books on Pub Sports.
This is another exciting edition of the main event on Talking Ant.
Welcome back as we started the day talking to some Gosman, Peterson, and Valdez. We just finished with Ribeyes with Mike, and now we're going to cover our last 3 pitchers on our slate today. Starting with Clayton Kershaw at the Rockies, number 34 in the Black Book this year, has a 27% strikeout percentage and a 10% walk percent. Opening line is 7+ at plus 115 on FanDuel. Closing line is still on FanDuel. Best available is at plus 126 now. PrizePicks has him at a flat 6, where his pitching outs under over are at a 17.5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup is 6 righties, 3 lefties. K per 9 this season, 11.7 K per 9 at home with a 9.5 on the road. Granted, 37 innings at home compared to 52 on the road. Lefties this year, only a 5.8 K per 9, but small sample size. He does have a career 11 K per 9 versus the left-handed side. Right-handers, he is striking out at an 11.2 K per 9 this season. Now we have a matchup, guys, from the baseball gods, but we're in Colorado. As the Rockies versus left-handed pitchers over the last 200 plate appearances, they're not walking at a putrid 4.3%. 15th through 20th in team batting average. but 5th in isolated power. Now, the uh-oh part, guys, is we're in Colorado, where Kershaw, through his career, only has a 22% strikeout rate at Coors Field. So that is why we're getting plus money on a 6.5 instead of some heavily juiced or even one strikeout up if this game was to be held in Chavez Ravine in LA. Well, when we look at the 2 games in Colorado, Kershaw pitched last season. He didn't go past 5.1 innings, not getting more than 4 strikeouts in any game. Now, when we look at the numbers, they were not striking out, and they were crushing the dog piss out of the baseball last year. They were one of those teams that were juggernauts versus lefties, and every time Kershaw faced them in Colorado, the numbers said he was going to get butchered, and that's what fucking happened. Well, it's 2023, bitches, and this isn't the same fucking Rockies team, as they are missing some key pieces, and it's showing in the numbers. So I'm willing to bet he ran into a buzzsaw last year, and it's not just Coors Field that gets him, as if you go through his other starts in Coors, he has put in some fucking gems. 7, 8 inning, 0 earned run gems at Coors Field. Now, can he give up some fucking runs today? Of course, guys. It is Coors Field, but I do expect a solid game from Kershaw today. So I'm going to put a half unit on his over 6.5. I got it at plus 134, as at one time it did move to a 5.5 minus 150, and I was not willing to pay the juice for this man in Coors Field. I'm also going to put a half unit on his pitching outs over 17.5 at minus 115. And Rocco Rogers brought something up in Jimmy the Bags chat earlier, where Kershaw to get the win is minus 115. Like, that may really be a good bet as well. Like, I hate tripling up, but I think that's a spot. I've got this man going 6 to 8 innings today, guys, and dominating these Rockies. So let's go, Clayton the fucking Great. And a great outing right here at Coors Field puts this guy into the number 1 spot in the National League Cy Young 2023. Yeah. Let's talk about our GOAT, guys, one of our Mount Rushmores. And before we get into GOAT Tani, Shohei, shout out to fucking Big Show, man. I mean, look at the newest thumbnail, guys. At the end of the day, we get to talk Shohei Ohtani on the day that the new thumbnail drops with Shohei Ohtani on it. And we gonna bet us some Shohei too. You know fucking that. So let's talk about it. Black Book number 2, Shohei versus the White Sox. This year has a 32.5 strikeout percentage with a 10.3 walk percentage. Opened them up on DraftKings 8+ minus 145. The best line available now is on BetMGM for that 8+ at minus 140. PrizePicks has them at a flat 8, whereas pitching outs under over are at a 18.5. Projected lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties for your Sox. Thank you. K per 9 this year, he has a 12.2 at home where he's at today, 11.4 on the road, 10.8 K per 9 versus the left-handed side, and an elite 13 strikeouts per 9 innings versus the right-handed side. Now we get Ohtani in a great matchup versus the White Sox today, as over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitchers, they're not walking at a crappy 5.6%, striking out at a 25% clip, while being 22nd to 25th in team batting average. Well, 6th in isolated power, so they are able to put up a few runs. Now, if we look at who Ohtani has faced with this year with a K percentage of 24 or worse out of his division, it's only seen one team, guys, the Royals, where he went out 7 innings and had an 11-piece McStrider that day. There has been a few issues, guys, with this White Sox lineup. They have a fucking huge problem with the fastball. As we all watched Reed Detmers have the most strikeouts of his career on the fastball last night, where 6 of his 10 strikeouts were from that pitch. So the Angels know, and Ohtani has to know, that they have an issue with the fastball. And last week, guys, we only went a half unit on Ohtani because we weren't sure if he would go out and be fastball dominant versus a Dodgers team that does not chase. And this man went out there and threw the most fastballs he's thrown in any game this season and racked up them strikeouts. I've got to expect him to keep the same mentality, attack these hitters. And even when he doesn't attack these hitters, we have something in this White Sox lineup that is not in the Dodgers lineup. And that's a bunch of guys who fucking chase, guys. If you have an issue with the fastball and you chase, this adds up for a monster day for the GOAT, guys. So I'm on GOAT Tani over 7.5 strikeouts for a full unit at minus 136. Please and thank you. Last guy on the board, guys. Woof! It's the guy competing with Clayton Kershaw for that Cy Young 2023 National League. This year, Zach Gallen versus the Rays. Number 46 in the black book has a 26.5 strikeout percentage with an elite 5.1 walk percentage. Morning line was 6+ minus 152 on Caesars. The best line available now is still minus 150 to that over 5.5. And that's on DraftKings. PrizePicks has a 6 where earned runs under over are at a 2.5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup today, 5 righties, 4 lefties. K per 9 this year at home where he's at today, an 11.2, where it falls off the road, 7.5. Lefties, 9.8 K per 9, and the right-handed side, he has a 9.3 K per 9. Now we end the day with Zach Gallen versus the Rays, where the books are taxing us if we want some Gallen today, as he's only hit the over 5.5 at a 60% clip in his last 10 games, which doesn't warrant a minus 120, which only warrants a minus 125 at best. So let's try and figure out why we got to get taxed. When we look at the Rays numbers over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitching, they sure the fuck don't say playing over K-prop and let's tax them, as they are walking above league average. They're not striking out at a 21% clip, and they're top 3 in every fucking hitting category I look at. So there's some mass volatility in this spot, yet they add at least 25 cents in juice. I get it. Gallen didn't see the Rays last season, so we can't go off past history. Now, the only thing that can be doing here, guys, is playing off of Zach Gallen at home, where Gallen's strikeout to walk ratio goes from a trash-ass 12% on the road to one of the better to strikeout to walk ratios in the game today when he's at home at an elite 30%. Not just that, guys, he's just been better at home, period, when we look at all the numbers. And that's even going back to last season. He likes pitching in the desert. Now, when we look at the Rays, guys, they're one of the most analytical teams in the league. And when we look at Gallen in this spot versus and his splits versus lefties and righties, lefties are hitting 40 to 50 points higher in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging. So I do expect the Rays to load up as many lefties as they could find as okay. But lefties on the road have been an issue for Gallen, where they've just skyrocketed out of control. Where at home, he's been elite versus lefties, guys. So what's to give? What's to give? Well, let's go back and see who these guys have even faced in the last 15 days, guys, that we would put our money on. And how about nobody? None. Zilch. Not one right-handed pitcher would I be willing to go even look at to bet my money on or versus the Rays. So I had to go back, guys, and the only person they've seen since the 1st of June that I would bet on is Nathan Eovaldi. And Nathan Eovaldi went out there and went 6.1 innings and had 6 strikeouts, guys. So I do need to temper my expectations in this spot. And it's juice to the motherfucking gills, guys. The numbers do say no, but I'd like to say these numbers are a tad bit fraudulent, that they haven't faced nobody. And Gallen is just a man amongst men when he's at home. So I'm going to put a half unit on Gallen at 6+, guys. And I'm going to hook it to Ohtani at 6+, just to get the juice down 30 cents at a bettable minus 119. As no way can I pay a minus 150 for the volatility that is in these Rays bats, guys. They can run a motherfucker, guys. They're top 3 average, OPS, and isolated power. Those ain't fake numbers. We do like to talk on this show. Good pitching beats good hitting every day of the week. And like I said, this man has been a monster in the desert. If you're just showing up for the recap, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help the algorithms more than you know. Today on the Balking Dead, we had a lot to talk about as I had 13 pitchers in the black book today. And if I did not mention them, I have no bet on them. We started off betting Gausman for a full unit, over 6.5 at -138 versus the team who turned him into the man he is today. Then we talked to some David Peterson and how I got to just let him go until he proves he's an MLB pitcher again, as my money is too valuable to put on a guy who belongs in AAA. Where I wanted to hammer guys, but because of my rules I've set, I had to let go, is Framer Valdez. I bet people's averages and when they're going to go through it, not when a book plays with the man. And that's exactly what they did today by dropping him down a number. Then we got into bets on the last 3 pitchers on the board. And we're going to double up on Kershaw today, both half-unit bets. And I'm going to take his strikeouts over 6.5 at +134. And I'm also taking his outs over 17.5 at a -115. As I think this is a spot to remind the naysayers that he can pitch in Colorado. Then we got, guys, into a full unit bet on one of our GOATs, Ohtani, over 7.5 strikeouts at a -136. And we finished the day off with a half-unit alt parlay with Gallen at 6+. We hooked him to Ohtani at 6+. And we just used Ohtani to get the juice down, guys, 30 cents, as I'm not willing to pay that heavy juice for the spot and volatility that comes with Gallen today. Let's have us a fucking day, guys, as this is the most bets that I have had in a long time. So let's keep what we've been doing, and that's dodging the disaster days and having some monster days in between. I did bet Gavin Williams, guys, and I gave him out last night on the live betting stream and the Team Sharpie, but he's now past the line to where I could say bet him. I would not bet on a kid who's unproven past the -135 mark. We got in at -128. I don't care how great the position is, guys. Juice we pay attention to, or at least I pay attention to, because the size of my bets are, they're beefy, let's just say. We're now putting timestamps in, guys, for those who are busy. At worst, the 2 recaps with the hitting and pitching props that we bet that day. At best, we will put the timestamps on all the pitchers we talk about. As you already know, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks, so if you haven't, go on over there, use that promo code PUBSPORTS. Get a match deposit up to $100 on your first deposit, minimum of $25. Until next time, guys, I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show's produced by Big Show Picks. Special guest today was Pimp Slap, Play of the Day, and this show's on Pub Sports Radio. Some say we be pubbing. I say pubbing we be.
Keep firing, assholes!